Inky. Alright, quick unboxing. Again, I'm not a big unboxing fan, so real quick, you got the gimbal itself, some chargers, a tripod, a screw, like a GoPro screw, another screw that I think you can use instead of using this one. Is a little more flush to the system. Two of the hexagonal winches, a little nice, very sexy bag to keep it all in, and a quick start manual. Oh, the Falcon. Let's see what's in it. Cut this out. Like a little bit on the side here, it talks about made with aluminum alloy and 360-degree pan rotation, which is nice because some different gimbals stop. Here is the gimbal itself. Fairly small. This is my iPhone 11. To give you a gauge on how big it is. 11 Pro Max. So just about hand size right there. Good grip. Of course, you can add the tripod to make it longer. It just has the connection for the GoPro, and you can adjust it here with your L wrench to move this out a little bit, and then adjust it here if you need to like raise it up or lower it depending on what size camera you have. Nice plastic tripod, rubber feet, just to extend it, make it bigger, nice and wide, so this is pretty stable. USB-C to A charger, and then I've already lost one of the ones already. I think it's upstairs, so I use it to adjust that. The little one adjusts this, and then the big one, ladies and gentlemen, what does the big one do? Ah, this screw right here. All this for this screw. So that is a screw you can put in if you want to mount your GoPro and not have that stick sticking out. So let's go over the device itself. This is your power button. This is your mode button. It'll change in between the settings. Now you have pan follow, horizon lock, FPV. On the side here you have photo, and then time lapse, and then your record button. Once you link this to your GoPro, you can adjust it that. Charging right here, and your trigger in the back. Like most gimbals, you pull it twice, it kind of resets itself. 3 times, it'll rotate bound for a selfie shot. 3 times again, it goes back to where it was. That's pretty standard. I mentioned it before, and I'll show you this little quick video, but the linking of this to the GoPro was pretty darn easy, and that's not normally the case all the time. Alright, so that's what's in the box. That's how it works. I am currently testing it right now. I'm not going to give an opinion yet. I'm going to go off to Disney. We're going to use this at Disney and see how it works. Now, everyone is asking the same question about this when they do a review on this, which I had the same question when Inky sent this to me for review. I'm like, thinking in the back of my head, why are you making gimbals for GoPros? Who and why you would buy this? There are a couple of cameras that I think of right away when I saw this, and one of them is the one I've gotten rid of, but I do miss, is the Sony RX0 Mark II. Now, I would love the Mark III to come out. We know all about that. That camera would benefit well from a gimbal. That would take away a lot of the other issues that it has. There are other gimbals are out there, but this one would work with it too, because the tripod mount is right in the center of the camera. You do the quarter into a GoPro mount, lock it in, you're going to be good to go with that camera. Now, whether or not it works with linking it remotely, I have no idea if that works or not. I was disappointed with the XTU. Is a very small action camera that I was sent to review. If you saw that, I'll link the review up there. Good, simple little camera. I'm not going to go into the whole, you can watch the review. XTU, the only issue is that they put their quarter screw right here on the side. And once I added the adapter, I could not get this thing. Of course, it wouldn't go flush like this. And then if I go out to the side like that, the gimbal was having a rough time balancing, and it was kind of shaking. You hear the motor kind of straining.
This is the XTU mounted. Now I had to go that direction, not centered, because the way the adapter is on that mount, which is underneath, is right there, which puts the camera backwards, and it doesn't really like it. It kind of, I can feel the vibration at times. 1, 2, 3. It's spinning around, but it kind of starts doing some weird movements because it's just not centered or balanced correctly. So you would have to have some type of funky adapter to put the mount right in the center of the camera to get it more balanced. I even adjusted the settings on the side, up and down those, and I've tried the back. Of course, I put it in as close as I can. So XTU, not so much.
So the cameras that I think that right out of the box are going to work are obviously the GoPro, what it was designed for, and then the DJI Action, which has the same setup as the GoPro. So those are the ones that are mainly it's focused on to work, but I always like to try to get other cameras to work on things they were not designed for. For some reason, I think that's fun. The main reason why you would use this bad boy, number one, low light filming with your GoPro. We all know if you got a GoPro and you go in low light, it's not the best thing in the world. You put that hyper smooth on, and the hyper smooth is trying to correct things, and it does not like darkness. It doesn't like it at all, and it gets all weird looking, and you know what I'm talking about. This way you can turn off the stabilization in the GoPro, have a wider shot if you want, and then keep it the best the camera can do without any type of electronic stabilization. So in theory, that would work better if this thing is a good gimbal and keeps it steady. The other time you would want to use it is if you do want to have a wider shot and not be cropped in because of the hyper smooth, but you want a smooth gimbal look, you can use it that way. I'm going to be testing it with the Max Media Mod, and I will test it without it, see if the front heaviness of it will make the gimbal unsteady with that lens. It's a little bit heavier. And I'll show you the video. It's a little right on the cuff of the max of this weight that it can hold. Okay, so just to show you, the payload in the manual is 200 grams. So we have it on grams. First thing, let's go with this XTU. Now this is only 143, so it should be fine, but it's the awkwardness of the setup, and I can't get it to balance correctly the way they put their tripod mount. Let's go with the obvious big boy here. Always like to try this guy just to see, and that's 294 grams, so obviously way too much for that gimbal to handle. Now, can it handle the GoPro with the Max Lens Mod? Yes, it supposedly can, 195 grams. So 5 grams short. And just to show you what it is without the lens mod on, and we're at 153 grams. So the Max Lens Mod itself is 29 grams. GoPro being top heavy with this thing on, leaning over, can the gimbal handle it consistently? It handles it fine at times, but is it consistently going to handle it? And would you use this setup anyway? So if you're not going to use the Max Lens Mod with the gimbal because it kind of defeats the purpose, then don't worry about the Max Lens Mod. It's going to work perfect on a regular GoPro. So that is the number one reason, is low light stuff, and then to have a wider shot. Of course, if you have older GoPros, obviously as previous GoPros were not as smooth as the new ones today, older GoPros will work great with this also to keep it nice and smooth stuff. So if you're on a vacation trip and you use your GoPro during the day, great, all good. And then you want to take it out at night to film something walking around, that's the camera that you have, then you want to use something like this to turn off the stabilization to get the best smooth shot you can. Inexpensive. You're going to hold something anyway for like a tripod wise, it might as well be a gimbal. And then you can control the camera right here very easily as you walk and talk and do your thing. Can you connect anything to this guy? No, not really. Unless you work with the quarter screw down here at the bottom and you rig up something on the side to add a microphone or something. The other videos I've seen from this, I'm going to piggyback off them. The Media Mod does not work on this. It's too big, so sorry. That's unfortunate. Let's go to Disney, and I'm going to use the GoPro Hero 9. Let's do some stuff with Hyper Smooth on and no gimbal, and let's use the gimbal with Hyper Smooth off Let's compare them left and right and see which one you like better, if it's worth it. Of course, I'm going to go out at night and film and use the GoPro at night. Show you what happens when you put Hypersmooth on. Show you what happens when you turn it off and you use the gimbal, and then if it's worth all the effort. All right, that is the Falcon from Inky, and I'll be back with more. Let's go to this.